Hello students, let us continue with chemical properties of alcohols. Alcohols undergo several kind of reactions. Under this, we have 5 categories. The first category is reactions involving cleavage of OH bond. Second category is reactions involving cleavage of COH bond. Third category is dehydration, that means removal of water. Fourth category is oxidation. And lastly, we have dehydrogenation. Now, under the reactions involving cleavage of OH bond, we have two more categories under this. One is acidic property of alcohol and another is esterification reaction. Now, let's begin with the first category, reactions involving cleavage of OH bond. Now, for your information, let me tell you, alcohol can behave both as electrophiles as well as nucleophiles. Now, when the cleavage of OH bond takes place, it behaves as nucleophile. So, what happens here is, since oxygen is more electronegative, it pulls the electron cloud towards itself, making the hydrogen partially positive. So, due to this polarity of OH bond, hydrogen can leave as H plus, and we consider alcohols as acids. But remember, alcohols are very mild acids. Normally we know acids show three kinds of property. One is acid plus active metal liberate hydrogen gas together with salt. Second property of acid is acid plus base give us salt and water. That means shear product in the first case is hydrogen, in the second case shear product is water. And the third reaction of acid is they react with carbonate or bicarbonate to liberate carbon dioxide. Now, acids, before I proceed further, what are active metals? By active metals we mean the metals which are above hydrogen in the activity series, such as sodium, magnesium, potassium, etc. Now, alcohols are very mild acids. So, they don't show all the properties of acids. They only react with active metals to liberate hydrogen gas. They don't react with base to form salt and water. They don't react with carbonate to liberate carbon dioxide. So, let's begin with the reaction. So, here we take the first reaction. As you know, sodium is a very popular metal. So, we take alcohol with sodium. So, the hydrogen gets replaced by sodium. So, the salt which is formed here is called sodium alkoxide and hydrogen gas is liberated. Now, if we take an example, I replace this R by CH3. So, we take methanol and treat it with sodium. So, the salt which is produced out here is sodium methoxide. Methyl group with oxygen is called methoxide and it liberates hydrogen gas. I take another example. If I take ethanol and I change the metal now, I take another active metal, that is magnesium. As you know, magnesium has valency 2, and if I remove one hydrogen from here, then we'll have valency of alkoxide ion to be 1. So the product formed will be having the formula CH3CH2O taken twice Mg together with liberation of hydrogen gas. To balance the equation, you can multiply here by 2. You can write here 2. Next is, sorry, not here, here. So now we have to understand, out of different types of alcohol, primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol, which alcohol is strongest acid among them. So we have to understand the reason. So there are various reasons by which we can explain the trend in acidic property. First of all, you have to understand that a hydrogen can leave as H plus if its electrons are strongly pulled by oxygen. Now, if oxygen refuses to pull the electron from hydrogen, then hydrogen will not develop enough positive charge and it will not leave as H plus. So, it will not behave as an acid. So if we take primary alcohol where oxygen is attached to a small alkyl group, if I take a secondary alcohol, then oxygen is attached to a bulkier alkyl group, and if you take a tertiary alcohol, then you can understand oxygen is attached to most bulky group. And the effect of this alkyl groups is Placer effect. That means they all have ability to push electron, and we know that bulkier the group is, stronger is the ability to push electron. So when the alkyl groups push electron towards oxygen, oxygen is getting enough electron and it refuses to pull electron from hydrogen. So the ability of oxygen to pull electron from hydrogen is minimum in tertiary and is maximum in primary. So considering this effect, primary alcohols are considered to be the strongest alcohols. It can also be explained on the basis of stability of the conjugate base. So you can see here, we know, if you remember in class 11 you have done, when an acid liberates proton and forms an anion, the anion is called conjugate base. More stable the conjugate base is, stronger is the acid. Now when the conjugate base formed out here, they all carry 1 negative charge, and any charge species is unstable. If the electron density on this oxygen increases, it makes it unstable. So here you can see in primary there is only one alkyl group pushing electron. In secondary there are two alkyl groups pushing electron, and in tertiary there are three alkyl groups which are pushing electron, making the oxygen maximum electron rich and most unstable. So as a result, the tertiary alcohol becomes minimum acidic in nature. You have to remember this statement. More stable the conjugate base is, stronger is the acid. Conjugate base is this, acid is this. Conjugate base here is this and acid is this. So both the factors, inductive effect and stability of conjugate base, prove that primary alcohol is the strongest acid and tertiary is minimum. We move to the second category of reaction. Esterification reaction we have done before. Alright. Reactions involving cleavage of COH bond. Please make a correction here. It should be D. So you know that alcohols, they can undergo reactions involving cleavage of ROH bond, and when the ROH bond is broken, this category of reaction in which the alcohol behave as an electrophile. So it is a kind of nucleophilic substitution reaction. The OH group gets replaced by several other groups. This category of reaction we have done in the chapter haloalkane under the preparation of haloalkanes. So ROH, when treated with halo acid, it will form RX together with H2O. So it's a well-known reaction, so I have not written. ROH plus PX3 phosphorus trihalide also will give you RX, and the byproduct will be phosphorus acid H3PO3. Third reaction, ROH plus PCl5 will give you RCl. We cannot write here RX because we have taken chlorine as the halogen, and POCl3 phosphorus oxychloride plus HCl. And reaction with SOCl2 will give you RCl plus SO2 plus HCl. It is a well-known reaction, so I am not rewriting. Next we have the second category of reaction, that is dehydration reaction. Now dehydration, as the term means, removal of water. Alcohols form alkene or symmetrical ethers depending on the temperature. So remember, this is a temperature dependent reaction. If the temperature is high, it prefers forming alkene. If the temperature is low, it prefers forming ether, symmetrical ether. So the condition for forming alkene is there should be presence of beta hydrogen. Now what is beta hydrogen? Beta out here means position. You know, the carbon to which halogen is attached, the functional group is attached is called alpha hydrogen. The neighboring carbon, the carbon to which functional group is attached is called alpha carbon, and the neighboring carbons are called beta carbon. And the hydrogen attached to the beta position is called beta hydrogen. So it is very important to have a beta hydrogen in alcohol to undergo elimination reaction or dehydration reaction to form alkene. Now the order of reaction, it has been found that tertiary alcohols undergo a reaction very fast and primary reacts little slowly. So when we take a primary alcohol, in this present case we have taken ethanol, when heated with sulfuric acid at 440 Kelvin, it forms ethene. The number of carbon remains same together with water. If I take a secondary alcohol, we have taken here propan-2-ol. You can see there is change in the reaction condition. It forms 85% phosphoric acid is good enough to carry out the reaction. Phosphoric acid is a milder acid compared to sulfuric acid. So it also forms alkene, that is propene, together with water. However, when we take tertiary alcohol, you may see the change in the reaction condition. Here only 20% phosphoric acid is good enough and the temperature is also low, 358 Kelvin, to carry out the elimination reaction. So in all the three cases we get alkene together with water. So this reaction is called dehydration reaction. Now the question is, if we have more than one beta position, if we have more than one possible product formation, then how do we know which product is going to form in larger quantity? If you remember, we have done elimination reaction in the chapter haloalkane. Here also exactly the same way we shall be discussing. So you can see here there are two beta carbons which have hydrogens. So if we eliminate water from here, we get this product. If we eliminate water from here, then we get this product. Now the question is, which product is major product? The product is governed by Zaitsev rule. Okay, so more alkylated alkene is the major product. I am just repeating once again. More alkylated we have discussed earlier also. If we consider these two carbon only, then I split the structure. You can see this carbon is attached to two hydrogens. Here it is another hydrogen, and here we have the alkyl group I am representing by R. So altogether we have here 3 alkyl groups and 1 hydrogen. Remember this number. 3 hydrogen and 1 alkyl group. Let's take the other structure. When we take this product, let us consider these two carbon, C double bond C. What are the groups attached to this? Here we have an alkyl group, that is methyl group. Here we have one hydrogen. Here again we have one methyl group and we have hydrogen. So altogether we have two alkyl groups, two hydrogen. Remember earlier we had one alkyl group and 3 hydrogens. So according to Zaitsev rule, it says that the alkene which contains more alkyl group is the major product. In other words, more alkylated alkene is the major product. So Zaitsev rule help us to identify the major product, but you should be able to know how to calculate number of alkyl groups. So that's all about this dehydration reaction. Now earlier I have missed out esterification reaction. Let us discuss the esterification reaction. This reaction you have been doing since class 10. So you know that when carboxylic acid and alcohol they react in presence of acid catalyst, they form a class of compound called ester. So here we are discussing reactions of alcohol and reactions of alcohol involving cleavage of OH bond. So if we take ROH as the alcohol and R-COOH as the acid, carboxylic acid, please note I have taken two different alkyl groups here, R and R dash, and we have taken an acid as the catalyst. Usually it is sulfuric acid, and the class of compound which is formed here is called ester. The COO group is called ester group. Now, depending on the acid and the alcohol, we have to name the ester. For our sake, we have taken ethanoic acid and methanol. So you can see here the group which is attached to O, singly bonded O, that has to be named first irrespective of how many carbons are attached to it. Then you have to consider how many carbons are there on the other side of O, and the suffix should be OH. That's how we name the esters. So here we have one carbon, so it is methyl. This side we have two carbon, so eth, and the name should be ended with OH. So the name of this ester is methyl ethanoate. Okay, the rule is already mentioned here, you may go through. Now esters don't only form by reactions of acid and alcohol. Esters can also form by reaction of alcohol with any derivative of acid. Now what we understand by the term derivative of acid? You see, we write acid like this, carboxylic acid, RCOOH. Now instead of OH, if we have any other group here, that can be termed as derivative of acid. So if I take RCOCl, that means OH has been replaced by Cl, then this can also take part in the reaction of alcohol to form ester. So you can see here we have taken an example here, acetyl chloride, derivative of acetic acid, reacting with ethanol to give you ethyl ethanoate, and the byproduct formed out here is HCl. Now HCl is a very strong acid, and organic reactions are usually very slow, and very soon they attain equilibrium. To shift the equilibrium towards right, that means towards the product, we use pyridine, Py. You can see the structure of pyridine here, which is a base which will be able to absorb the HCl formed by forming a compound called pyridinium chloride. So that's how it helps to carry out the reaction at a faster rate, more towards the product. So this way the yield also will be good. Now you need to do the mechanism of dehydration reaction of ethanol. Whenever a mechanism is asked, always try to write the overall reaction. So there are 3 steps in this reaction, and I suggest that please practice writing these reactions number of times, at least 3 times, and then we'll master the skill. So the step 1 is protonation of alcohol. Remember, this acid which is taken here is acting as a catalyst. Now in alcohol, when we write OH, there are lone pair. Okay, so lone pair on oxygen. This oxygen will attack the proton, and the reaction is quite fast. And during this course, it forms a positive charge on oxygen, and we call it oxonium ion. In step 2, alcohol, the protonated alcohol, that is the oxonium ion, loses water and form a carbocation. So we write it loss of water and formation of carbocation. So we are almost reaching the product, but as you know, the proton which is used here, which is a catalyst, it needs to be made free at the end of the reaction. That is very important to remember, that the catalyst has to be made free at the end of the reaction. So in the step 3, what happens? Deprotonation, that means removal of proton. So it gives you alkene, and that's how we get the final product. This mechanism is very important for you to remember, and it is also one of the exercise questions. So we stop this video here, and we'll continue further properties in the next video.